Day to the BMC IMS webinar series. BMC shines a light on the IMS Catalog webinar. Today's webinar is being recorded. At this time, I would like to turn the conference over to Nick Griffin. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Welcome, everybody, to the BMC IMS webinar series. As the name states, this is a series that we've been doing for several months now, and that we have a number of recorded sessions. I'd like to see our recorded sessions. Feel free to go to bmc.com, search on Watch Mainframe IMS, and you should be able to find those. Should be 5 or 6 of them out there, and you can pick different subject matters. We will continue to do these on as an ongoing basis on the first Monday of every month, so you should see more of these in the near future come up in your email. I'll be taking questions in the Q&A panel, which you can type into and click on, which is up in the right-hand corner of your screen. We'll answer those questions as we go. We have some that are really of importance. We will try to get those later on and let everybody know what they are. So Dwayne Wente, he's IMS advisory software consultant. He will be presenting on the subject matter of BMC shines a light on the IMS catalog using or with Catalog Manager for IMS. So Dwayne, take it away.
Thanks, everybody, to this IMS technical webinar, the first on the IMS catalog, and we provide information to you on how we're supporting the IMS catalog with our newly announced functionality, Catalog Manager for IMS. So with that, let's get started. The question that you are probably asking yourselves is, why should you use the IMS catalog? A new repository, and if those of you who have been in IMS a very long time, I think the catalog, you can kind of compare it to a dictionary, except it's really more than just a dictionary. Data for input into the catalog is the catalog populate utility, which is a secondary step to the ACBGEN process. It also can be updated via a distributed process with DDL, was probably IMS Explorer. On IMS managed ACBs, what does that really mean? Well, that means that managed ACBs is replacing functionality for local control block management. It is replacing DBDGen, it is replacing PSBGen, it is replacing ACBGEN, and it's replacing online change. So, what we talk about managed ACBs, how is it supported? Well, it's supported via a number of PDSE datasets. And PDSE datasets contain similar format control blocks like ACB Live contained, must be in sync with the catalog. So one-to-one relationship between the IMS directory and the catalog. The second, or the third thing, I guess, is online change is replaced by IMS type 2 commands that are to commit the MS database, DMB control block changes, and the ACB content changes for IMS to use those appropriately. Now, using catalog. Well, the primary risk here is, and the major impetus behind why IMS people do not want to use the catalog, is the fact that you're changing stable procedures for maintaining your IMS environment. It's introducing change into procedures that have been in place for maybe decades. And this is causing risk and instability. The other thing here is that when you load the catalog from your ACB Live, is contained in ACB Live. does not have anything to do with any batch processes that don't use ACB Live, that are using DVD Live and PSP Live. So there's a possibility that when you're working with batch, that catalog could be out of sync after you've loaded it. You also get out of sync conditions when you're trying to do a back out of a purge process. What it does is it processes the catalog and removes inventory that's out of date. Is the implementation of the catalog can require you to register the HALDB database in DBRC. There's do that. Now, BMC recommends that you don't do that, and our catalog manager for IMS requires that the HALDB catalog database be registered to DBRC. And I think it's very, very important to support the advantages for data sharing and the advantages for backup and recovery that DBRC provides. So very, very important. So what are we doing here with the catalog manager? Well, we are the catalog experts and want to partner with our customers to give them the functionality that they need today, functionality that they're going to need in the future when you're implementing catalog, changing your procedures, trying to get the catalog implemented correctly in your environment. So let's talk a little bit about the customer base. Really, we've been talking to our customer base for a long while now about the catalog. Really, there's two camps of customers. There's those that say they haven't considered using in the future. That's okay. BMC IMS Catalog and IMS experts that can help you guide and educate you as you're going through this journey to implement the catalog. We've written a catalog white paper that's available on our website, or it will be available shortly. And we introduced an IMS Catalog blog where we hope that customers will communicate with us as to what issues are and how we can educate our customers. The other customers are those that are saying, it's all happening, I'm in the process of implementing the catalog, or implemented the catalog already. That's great. BMC is uniquely positioned to help those customers understand and better utilize the catalog, and also to understand how to do quick in time to repair based upon contents of that metadata that's in the catalog. So let's talk about Manager for IMS now, and I'm going to talk about what it does from a functional perspective. After I've done that, what I want to do is talk to you about a specific customer use case so that you can see how the specific functions of the catalog manager can be used to resolve a specific problem. So, manager really addresses common IMS catalog and directory user needs. And what are those needs? Well, when you're talking about viewing the contents of the catalog, how can you do that today? Today, it's difficult to understand what you have loaded in the catalog and what that information means. You can use another distributed platform solution to get at that information. That could be the IMS Explorer. You could write an application program because granted, the catalog is a HALDB database. You could write an application program and be responsible for understanding the contents of the catalog and all of the segments that have been loaded for that HALDB database. Very palatable. You could DLT 0 and use the GERT call and dump out the contents of the catalog. Again, not very palatable. The information is provided to you back in as unformatted. Better time to provide IMS sysprogs, IMS application people, and also IMS DBAs with a tool that's integrated into a tool that already manages IMS databases. What we're Catalog Manager is a no-charge offering for our active BMC IMS tools customers. So what I'm saying here is if you currently own any BMC DBU utilities, they have access to the Catalog Manager for IMS. Now that means that you would have to install our GUI infrastructure. You'd have to apply some PTFs that you would request from tech support, BMC tech support. Once done, and if you're at the current levels of the BMC IMS code, then the catalog will automatically be in GUI infrastructure for you to use. It's delivered as an extension of the BMC DBA toolkit. That also means that if you're using our MaxM Database Advisor, that same infrastructure is used. An additional Catalog Manager tab will show up in that GUI. Provides seamless integration into a familiar interface for customers that are already using that. Add a number of PTS by a technical bulletin. There's no additional product installation required. It does, however, require current BMC IMS Database Utility Solution version installed. And what I mean by that, that means that you need to be at the December 2017 level of our product code. So let's get a quick view of what the Catalog Manager for IMS GUI looks like. As you can see, once installation is done, you will see the Catalog Manager tab, and I'll put my cursor over that now, right here. That tab will now show up in our GUI interface. The functions that are included here in this GUI include a catalog viewer, IMS Commands processor, JC component that allows you to administer the catalog, and functionality that gives you the reporting capabilities of our Database Integrity Plus product, because remember, the Database Integrity Plus product, when it was designed to do reporting against full libraries, your DB lib, your PSB lib, your ACBGEN lib. It didn't have any knowledge of the IMS catalog or the directory. So we modified that and that capability so they can do really good analysis on contents of the catalog associated with control blocks that are used in IMS. What in heck do I mean by viewer? Well, what we've done is we've built into our GUI infrastructure the ability to extend that HALDB database to the navigation tree based on the segments that are included for the metadata that's housed in the catalog. From that navigation tree, then you can look at the information that's housed in the so navigation options are via the catalog, HALDB database, or you can do navigation based upon PSBs to view specific PSBs or all PSBs that are defined in the catalog. Under each PSB, there is a list of associated PCs and segments, and you'll see the data that's actually loaded into the catalog for that type of metadata. The same thing is true. Navigation can be done at the DBD perspective so that you can view all the DBDs that are defined in the catalog, specific ones based upon specific filtering characteristics. And the filtering characteristics can be done via masking, can be done via SQL conditions, or you can filter it based upon the number of rows that you want to see in the results window. And I'll show you that. This is the viewer starting a search. As you can see in that left window, the one right here, once we've expanded the catalog HALDB database, and you can see the metadata components. When DBD, that is the DD metadata. You go down further to the PSB, it shows the PSB metadata and the segments associated with that metadata. In this case, the ability to do specific searching based upon masking for a specific database gives you the ability to do a SQL condition, and it also gives you the capability to control the number of rows that are going to be displayed. In the next search results window, I'm showing you a generic DBD search against the catalog, and I'm showing you in the right window is the results of that search. It's based upon DBD, and you can also see at the bottom of that results window, it's telling you how many database objects and pieces of metadata are included in the catalog. This catalog, over 3,000 databases included here. Now, you're probably going to look at this results window, and you're going to see the same database listed multiple times. And you're saying, well, why is that? Basically because, as you know, when the catalog was implemented, IBM also enabled versioning on databases. And you can see for this one database, the second one in on this list, it's listed multiple times, and that's based upon versioning. Reporting is another option off the icon for the catalog manager, and it allows you to verify information in the catalog as to whether it's current and correct. It is Database Integrity Plus reporting that's been modified to take advantage of reporting against the directory or the directory staging libraries and catalog, and it provides you the capability to do reporting for database auditing, cross-referencing, reporting, and data synchronization reporting. This looks like what you do here is you would select the type of reporting that you want to do. In this case, I'm doing a database synchronization report, and I'm going against the directory, and I'm going to contrast that with all the control blocks. Inside the console. At this point, you have the option to set this reporting job, or the option to save it off to a PDS data set on the mainframe and execute it at your leisure. This is also a synchronization report, so I'm just showing you that. Is for administration of the catalog. What we've added is the ability to do for DBD-GEN, for ACBGEN control blocks, generate for ACBGEN and catalog populate, so that you can keep your ACB live and your catalog in sync, and provided the capability to analyze the inventory that you want to purge. If you have inventory that's in the catalog that needs to be purged, you would use the catalog purge utility to do that. There's an analysis phase that can be executed first to tell you what will be deleted before you actually run the catalog purge. Again, same way as generating JCL for reporting. In case, I'm going to show you the ACBGEN and catalog populate utility. And it works for reporting as far as generating that JCL. Because it allows you to issue IMS Type 1 and Type 2 commands and see the responses interactively. We included this in the catalog manager GUI because there are functions that you need to do to administer the catalog with type 2 commands, and also wanted you to be able to execute any IMS command from inside the GUI so that you didn't have to go off platform to do that. And here on the execution of a type 1 command against the OLS data set. I'm doing a display OLS. From a Plex, there's the participating IMS LPARs in this Plex. And you can see results of that display. A little bit of difficulty here. Apologize for that. Trying to get okay. So what I want to do in the next part of the session is I want to go over a use case, custom use case. So in this particular situation, the customer is going to be doing transition to the IMS catalog. And typically when customers transition to the IMS catalog, they are going to set the DFS sex proc-lib member to its catalog usage, and they want to use ACB management of the ACB lib. Just means that program changes and schema changes from the DBD perspective are going to be managed in the ACB lib and currently updated in the IMS catalog, so that users who are doing distributed Java development can also get their information from the catalog, and it is in sync with the ACB lib. What situation if someone in the development organization, and this will happen, pulls the old ACB lib, an old ACBGEN process that doesn't include the catalog populate utility as the second step. What happens is IMS is just fine and good. It updates the ACB lib, but the catalog did not get updated. So what happens is, from a distributed platform perspective, the user will get an out-of-sync condition. Right? I will, and I know. Let's use the catalog manager to try and determine if that situation exists or not. What we're going to use the catalog viewer first. I'm going to have me in the navigation tree so I can navigate to the control block, because what do I really want to do? I want to make sure that the control block's metadata that's housed in the catalog is in sync with what IMS is actually using. There's individual components to this out-of-sync condition. Okay, catalog first. The first thing I'm going to do is look at the DB catalog. In this case, I'm going to use the catalog DBD for my example. And search criteria is I want to look at all segments for the metadata. I do a SQL condition where for only the catalog database only, I'm going to limit the number of rows that could be displayed to 10. Go ahead and hit the search, and the results window is going to show me the catalog database metadata, and you're saying, well, that's an interesting representation of that data. Yeah, it looks like it's easier to read, but really understand what the column headings mean. Inside Catalog Manager, what you do is you put your cursor over the heading for that column, and we tell you what that data represents and what the characteristics of that column data is. In this case, we're looking at the TSRS column. That is the ACBGEN timestamp for this control block. As you can see, it's April 7th, 2017 at 13:58:30:58. Remember that number, timestamp. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to look catalog PSB. I'm going to display that metadata as well because I want to see if the ACBGEN timestamp for the PSB is equivalent to the DBD ACB timestamp. And you can see it is. So I've used the catalog viewer to quickly identify what the ACB timestamp is and to verify that those timestamps are equivalent. Why would a distributed platform get an out-of-sync condition? Okay. So what is the other half of this equation? The other half of this equation is by using the IMS Commands processor. So leaving the console, I'm going to do it right here. What I'm going to do a diagnose snap for the DVD, the DDIR. Based on looking at that control block, that the offset for that timestamp is at offset 98. Format with the timestamp. And see, based on what I've highlighted here, that that timestamp is equivalent to what's defined for that control block in the catalog meta. Three of the equation has been solved. Let's look. I'm going to use the same command. I'm going to do a program. I'm going to use the catalog read PSB, and I'm going to dump the PDIR control block. And from that control block, the offset for the timestamp is at offset 58. Now that both the catalog and both the ACB components that IMS is using are equivalent. All right? Now, for instance, the catalog timestamps were less than those by ACB Live for this, and I know that the ACBGEN was done without a catalog populate utility execution. In this, they are equivalent. We should be fine. If they were the same, then what I would do is I would go to the generate JCL. I would ACBGEN catalog populate execution for the DBD, and I would refresh all referenced PSBs. Generate ACL, submit it from inside the console off to a staging library or a mainframe data set to execute it later. So what have we done? We have customer use case. We've proved the components, pieces of functionality that we delivered with the catalog manager for IMS. We've shown integrated functionality of the GUI interface. How easy it is to view the catalog HALDB, the data that's housed in that catalog metadata. I showed you command processing, the integration of that, and how it could be used in the solving of a critical problem. shown how to use the Catalog Manager for IMS for issue remediation. About the use case, and I guess when we get finished here, if you have questions about the use case or usages of the functionality of the Catalog Manager, please don't hesitate to put your questions in the Q&A. Is a no charge for existing BMC IMS tools customers. It has all of the capability that current IMS customers need, because most IMS customers are in the investigation of the IMS catalog and managed ACBs. Everything that we have included here for on a no-charge basis will give you what you need to manage and understand the catalog, educate yourself about the metadata that's included in the catalog, and be able to do problem remediation using this functionality. Another important key is that it's integrated into the DA Toolkit infrastructure and the Maxim Database Advisor infrastructure, because remember, Catalog is a HALDB database, OSAM database, and it needs to be managed just like any other database. You need to do proactive management for performance considerations and space reclaim. And you also need to understand proactively when you have an issue that will result in an out-of-space condition. Really also leverage proven database integrity reporting that's integrated so that you understand the relationships of the metadata that's housed in your catalog and that you can understand what those control blocks do. At this time, I'd like to turn this discussion over to the Q&A portion. If you would like, I'd like to turn it back over to the moderator so that we can take questions at this time.
For your presentation today. If you have any questions, we're answering those in the Q&A area. I'm doing a live question feed today, but if you want to ask questions, put them in the Q&A, and we'll move on quickly to those. The ones that I did get was asking about the replay, and the correct URL for that is watch.bmc.com. So you can look for it in a few days. It will be out there. You should get a notification, but if you don't, look in a few days, and you should be able to see that. All right, I want to turn this back over to Cynthia, the operator, and we'll let her close out the session, but we will keep it open for 10 minutes and answer questions, 10 minutes and answer questions on the question and answer panel. So if you still have questions, let us know what those are, and we'll be glad to help you with those. Cynthia?
Ladies, conclude today's webinar. Thank you all for your participation.